Hey, it's Vicki again, guys. I thought that since we're on a roll of carving, I would go ahead and work on the plumber's wrap. Here it is. Rubber packing sheet. This was $1.99 at Lowe's. It's 6 inches by 6 inches. This is the thicker version at close to 1/8 of an inch thick. The smaller, the thinner version is 1/16. I've got my turntable out that was used for a Sculpey head I did as prep for a painting. And I remember what this is now. The last video I couldn't remember the name of it. It's Glad Press and Seal. So when that gets old and bad, I'll just take it off. The Sculpey had melted into the plastic and left a kind of cratered surface I couldn't really work on, so I covered it. So there you have that. Okay, the other thing I'm using is a fine point Sharpie, and it does work on this. And I'm just going to mark off, I'm going to plan this a little better than I did the first one. I'm going to mark off 1 inch. And this is 6 inches, so I'm going to put a mark at the 3. Whoops, that wasn't quite 3. That's more like 3. And 3. This isn't rocket science, so. And this time I'm going to draw vertical lines. On this one, I angled my verticals and then angled my in-between lines. This time this one is going to be a little more even. I think what I'm going to do is just mark this off in inches, making this up as I go along. Inch, inch, inch. It doesn't matter how you hold the pen, that's for sure. Straight up and down. Man, that turntable is slick. Besides that, it keeps it right in camera. You can tell I'm not measuring these real accurately. Okay. Now what we're going to do is draw mountains and valleys. I'm going to switch to a smaller ruler. Maybe and maybe not. I've got one here somewhere. It's in the ruler, but that will work. I just need something shorter. Now we're going to make sure, I'm going to freehand this. I'm going to just draw some diagonals, and they're not regular. I want them to be different. And so here we come with, nope, I don't like that. That one's almost parallel. This pen's not working right now. But it does seem to be scratching the surface. So you kind of get the drift. Okay, grab the number 1 Lano tool. First thing I'm going to do is carve this straight line. Now this stuff is like butter. It's the material that rubber stamps are made out of. I don't have any idea how long it will last. Look at that. I mean, that's just a perfect. Now if I want to come back on this and turn it around and capture that. When cutting these straight lines, if you'll go part way and turn it around, put the business end of your tool in the ditch and come back and meet that line, you won't run the risk of sliding off into this new area. I got a little too deep on that one and it was starting to drag. So if that's the case, just turn it around and come back on it. Just skim the surface on this. Oops, it went all the way on that one. That's okay. Now the beauty of this little plate is that I can just ink parts of it and just use portions at a time. I don't have to use the entire thing all at once. Okay, now I'm going to cut these diagonals. Keep your fingers out of the way. On this strip, I'm matching, well, my inch markers are even, and I'm making sure that my valleys and my hills match on a corresponding vertical line, not for any reason other than just variety. It's still a tribal looking pattern, but different. And I don't have to stay right on the lines because I didn't draw those straight anyway. This one I think I'm going to alter just a little bit. Remember, repetition with variation. That's what we're doing here. Okay. Next, what I'm going to do, this is so simple even boys can do it. I'm just going to alternate drawing straight lines. I'm going to skip this one, and I'm going to do this one. This is such a simple pattern. Hope I'm not shaking the tripod. I've got one leg through the middle of the tripod, one leg balanced up on a shelf that's next to me, an industrial shelf, and skip that one. So over here, oh, and then I have my arm around the third leg. So the tripod's sitting right here. You can't see it. Right here. So I'm around the tripod. That's organic. Beauty of this is that it's not an exact science. So if your lines are not even, you want it to look homemade. Handmade. Hello. I'll get my words straight here in a minute. You want organic. Uh-oh. Look what I just did. I was supposed to skip. Well, you know what? Supposed to just went out the window. My plan has been aborted. Barely any pressure. So if you have Arthur in your hands, this might be a good way for you to carve, because it's just, it really is just, it just glides through. Of the materials I've cut lately, wood is the hardest, of course, then the lino, and then the pink stuff. And I'm going to carve on the pink stuff again now that I've got a little more feel for this. If you want to clean up your line a little bit right here, just go right ahead and do it. Now I'm going to come here. Now let's alternate. I don't know what we're going to get when we end up here. Like I said, this isn't in a mathematical formula where there's only one right answer. Get your hand out of the way. Okay, now cut this one. Now my brain's already trying to figure out what I'm going to do on that third set. Usually those kind of decisions just pop up. Man, I love how good that shows up under this light. Woohoo! Alright, so if we do this one and this one, hey, there you go. It'll be the same as this one, but different squares. That's cool. Alright, that makes some sense. And then I can just pretend I designed it that way. See, just leave it up to the muse. And there you have it. I'm wondering whether I want to put another horizontal line here. And I'm thinking this one might need to be a little bit deeper from the other day. So I'm just going to make it a little bit deeper. Hardly any pressure. And I think just for grins, I'm going to put a curvy line. In my tribal pattern. Move that just a little bit closer to me so I can. And I'm going to put another there. Cool. You see that? Alright. Now, tools out of the way. And this is the paper I used the other day. And this is a 32-pound glossy laser print paper. I have a laser printer. If you have an inkjet, you know, they're comparable papers for both. But 24 pound is your typical bond paper that you run through a copy machine. I use that sometimes. It's thinner, which means that you can manipulate it, rub it, make image transfers. This is really a more sturdy paper where your collages are a little more serious maybe. But I think the glossy paper probably will take these tiny designs better than regular bond paper because it is a little more absorbent. This has a real slick clay-coated finish on it. Alright, that's enough talk about paper. Let's ink this baby. I think what I'm going to do is get a dauber. And let's use this distress. Oh, I don't want to use black. Hope my hair isn't showing. I am testing gray. Here's one vintage photo. Let's give that a shot. Okay, we in camera. Yup, we are. And this is going to take too long. Cover that up. We'll get a makeup sponge, and we're going to try that. This pad may not be a good one. That may be my problem. Instead of the applicator, it might be that the ink is... And nothing says you can't mix. So let's go to the oregano. Let's see if we got enough ink on there. Oh, yeah, turned out pretty good. Cool. And I really like the way the paper picks up. Can you see the the bubbles. It almost looks like bubbles. And that's probably to do with the coating on the paper. That, of course, is left over from the other day. That's a nice little design. I like that. Simple and done. I think what I want to do now, I'm going to try a Crayola Super Tip. Just for grins. See if I can get this on here quick enough so it doesn't dry out first. See, look at how that's taken this rubber's acting a little bit like a resist, meaning that it's not exactly taking the pigment. Working quick because I don't know how long this is going to stay wet enough to stamp. And then couple that with the fact that the paper's kind of also resisting a little. You're neat. Look at the texture. Whoop, there. Look at that. I sound like a mother talking over a newborn baby. That's cool. I don't care who you are, that's cool. And the blue pencil, this is a definite blue, but it showed up green probably because of the inks that were on it before. So there you go. That was an excellent way to color this. So it looks like the rubber stamp, the rubber material prints, of course, similar to the lino cut in that the surface is hard and the inks resist a bit. Same handy wipe I had the other day. I could wet it if I had some water handy, but I just keep using them until they get a lot of color on them and then put them up, save them for found paper. Alright, we're going to call it quits on that today. Might film another inch later on, but let's keep it short and sweet. Alright, see you later. Bye.